it with the coffee.
You know why they put honey with milk in the old days? Because you're not doing it for the same reason nowadays. I love history.
Yeah, tell me. What matrix did they provide?
Because there was no refrigeration and milk could go bad setting out. So if you put the honey in it with the good bacteria and stuff, like if it curled, then you knew not to drink it. But if it didn't curl, then it was good to drink and tasted better.
But you're saying was like a balance of like, all right, even if it's like a little bit bad bacteria, I got enough of the good that I might be able to kind of, because it does neutralize. I mean, like you pour honey on bacteria, what happens? It basically like it can't breathe in a way. You just die. I don't know, like honey on COVID. Was that a cure-all? I don't know.
I don't think so.
It seems to be though. It's like it doesn't. Things don't like to grow on a honey. Can you actually inoculate? Call it the word inoculate to allow buildup of bacteria in honey. I don't know. I've never seen it in my lifetime, which is amazing. I think it's fascinating. I didn't make it. You know what I mean? Like everything I make pretty much gets like infected in a way. Unlike honey. Well done, whoever made it. God, there needs to be. I gotta go fucking go bang.
Think about that. How bad milk have to be to make for honey to curl it.
What?
Like if it curled in the cup and stuff. Like you could see, like it was an instant reaction.
Right. Wait.
I had
the honey actually makes. I feel like it comes out curdled. I feel like you already know. Like as you're pouring it. But then if it's like
when the honey goes to the milk, pours into the milk.
Yeah.
The milk would react from the honey depending on how warm and how far close to being gone it was.
Yeah, I see your implication. So that is the whole thing that I literally want to know, because that goes against biology in my head.
I know, honey, and it don't matter if fucking science is like, no, back then they believed in things that weren't scientifically proven.
No, but like that, they went from...
They literally did, that was the mindset, and it actually was a reaction you could see. We did the experiment.
Right, I'm just like wondering what you're saying, so I like want to bring it home. I'm loving it.
Okay, I can help with that. You know how oil and vinegar separate, right? You know how it looks as it's separating? Kind of what the milk and honey's doing.
So you could see a thickness change that was actually visible enough.
Actually go in.
Because otherwise you just have black coffee. It's not like you can see.
Well, milk is white. You can see everything.
Well, it's going to go straight to the bottom in a way. There's no matrix to actually suspend it.
I did the experiment in the class. Like, we did it with 3 different temperatures of milk. And the one that had been setting out too long, you definitely could see it.
Yeah, so it's a visibility.
There was no and, ifs, or buts. Like, the middle one, I was like, so exactly what am I...
So it's a very visual thickness. This is in the
really
suspension.
Is.
You really
can see it. Now,
cloud.
The milk that was good, just, fresh, what hadn't been setting very long, you're right. The honey went straight to the bottom and you had to stir it. But the longer that milk had been setting out, with no refrigeration, just in the cold store room or in the cellar where they keep it as cold as they could.
You want it thin enough and fresh enough. Thin is fresh, so in a way, with milk, so the thinner it goes, the thin passes through the honey and doesn't actually get suspended.
If the honey just went and you didn't see nothing, that was perfect milk. You just drunk that. But then in the middle, I've seen it with my own eyes, but I still can't quite explain. Like, I seen it changing, but I didn't understand, because it didn't change like the one that were definitely bad. Like that one I wouldn't put in my mouth if you paid me. But the one in the middle, I could see a little difference, but it wasn't like No, it didn't all just pour down in. It took a while for it to go down in, but it did go down in. I don't know how to explain that better. All I can do is remember seeing it in my head. It just didn't make sense to me that one was about 60 to 70% okay to drink.
Right. As there was a thickness pattern that some thin, but some too thick. Some got through, some didn't though. Yeah. That's so groovy though. What is groovy though is that you actually can use...
No, what was groovy though? I had a history teacher that actually tried to
hands on science, bro.
put
What was it?
back in history.
Yeah. I want to put us back there.
Like, would do experiments and stuff like that to show us. And by the way, this whole experiment and stuff was because, not even me, another kid in the class fucking asked him, like he was explaining something. What are you looking for?
The recording device. The other phone.
I've not seen it for a minute.
No, keep going.
Asked him about why would they drink milk and honey, and he started explaining that honey has bacterial, and it's one of the few things that will be good 100 years from now if you put it in a container that's airproof. In 1,000 years, you could open that motherfucker up and eat the honey. That's how healthy and beneficial honey. And he started, and then the next class we had an experiment ready so we could understand and see. And only after that experiment did he go back to his original point where he was teaching in the first place. But he was that fucking good that he could do shit like that.
Love me
the
tender.
Stupid ass that used to come in wearing, costumes.
Right.
And he literally put that whole lesson on hold just to answer a question about milk and honey and why it's talked about so much and what it actually was and did. And
I had to change my test so much because it wasn't from previous, because I get so distracted on some like small things, but I thought mattered also because we use honey in the medical field. So in fun cases. But I was that guy, and then I had to like change up all the test material because I realized I spent so much material on this material. How am I supposed to test my students? That's where I just jumped tangents. But then relatively came back and was like, all right, this is also what's going to be most important on your fucking NCLEX.
I knew he was
So fun.
The bell rung, and he said, I'm going to think about that, and next class I'll have an answer for you. And
so good.
I knew that he was going to do something cool. My dad wanted me to quit this I knew he had the answer. Man, he shocked even me. He not only had the answer, he had a way to show us to make us understand.
And he got all he had to do was...
Teacher of the year award every fucking year at that school.
That's cute.
And if Chanel had him in junior high, she would have run. But she didn't get a good history teacher until high school, and then she got mad. No matter what I did or how I took Bridget too, they knew it was a lover of history. One thing that me and Bridget actually agreed on, at least it pissed Chanel off, was pulling over and reading them little signs down the highways at National Historic Site. I love pulling over and reading them motherfuckers. We're trying to make time or something, I'm not, unless it's a major one, but when you just traveling and taking your time and having fun, why not stop and read them and learn a little more about the area? And I took her to a lot of states, but we didn't get to Washington, D.C. or the upper eastern coast. We didn't get that far.
Well, Eva. You were missing all too much.
Oh, yes, she was. I couldn't wait to show her name.
Oh, well, okay, never mind. I thought you said Washington, D.C. and all that shit.
Yeah,
I was like,
from Washington, D.C. up
from
east
Washington.
on that coast.
Mm.
Connecticut, New York, like we didn't do any of them.
Mm.
We stopped at, like, I want to say Virginia, West Virginia would be as far up that coast we went. But all the way down, all the way across, even up here, even Washington. I almost got to show her the state. Her friends used to always marvel at that. How many states have you been to? Because if my kids leaving the state, she would just like that. Like that really hit me so fucking hard when I was young that I was going to make sure my kids got vacations to other states.
And that's why she's so good at accepting differences, because you kind of expose her to differences pretty early.
Yep.
That's the big difference.
We didn't get to do the Upper East Coast
There you go,
and
Mom.
Canada and
Shit.
Ireland. That's what we still wanted to do. We didn't get to go do that. Ireland's the place I would want to go first. Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Then I want to jump over to Venice, Italy. Before it's completely sunk, and go see my glass pouring island before it's completely gone. Though it has a better chance of surviving than Venice. I find that funny. It's also been there since before Venice. Even Ruby wanted to go there. When I told her about it, she looked into it and shit. She was like, oh yeah, I want to do this. We never had to do the trains. I so still want to do that train up in, goes across Washington, Montana, Wyoming. Like, it goes places cars can't go to see the nature and shit. I want that. Still. It's right here. I don't have to leave the states to get it. I always wanted to do an Amtrak train too. Like actually sleep on one. Get like sleeping gross and but that one across the top of the United States is you get off and you stay at motels along the way. And then there is also sleeping cars on there, but they stop for motels. That's why